Good morning, everybody. CW here. I want to do a video and contribute to our friend Jeff's challenge about your oldest rifle. And this is one that I've talked about before. I had a video on it on my old channel. I'm trying to think if I have one on this channel. I'm not sure. I may not have one on this gun. Anyway, it's my oldest gun that I can think of. I don't believe I have anything older in a firearm. Probably have a couple muzzle loaders that are older, but in a firearm, this will be the oldest. And what this is a Mauser. This is a model 1889 Belgian Mauser. And it's almost the same as what was produced for World War I. This particular gun was made in about 1917 or 1918. It's a hard to say thing. Ian McCullen has a really good video, as does C&S Arsenal, on these guns. And Ian does a nice video. I was just watching it this morning, brushing up on some of my thoughts and remembrances on this gun. But he talks about production dates and such, and I knew it was late World War I, but I didn't know the exact dates on it. And the reason I knew that was because it took a lot of time to get to where this gun was produced. This gun predates World War I, but the manufacture of this one is what makes it special. And as most of you guys know, I live here in Connecticut. This gun is made by Hopkins and Allen of Norwich, Connecticut, of which there was a pretty small number. And I believe he said it was 150,000 guns total, 140,000 rifles and 10,000 carbines. There's some marks on here that can tell you some different things about it. And I'll show you that, and I'll zoom in and we'll show you those on the gun here. Let me break and show you that. All right, let's start right here. This is complete, all matching, and everything is here for the gun. And here is the roll mark, Hopkins and Allen Arms Company, Norwich, does it say CT on there? I'm trying to see. I see USA. Yeah, Norwich Con, C-O-N-N. And the serial number is on here in a bunch of places, but here's just one of them. This is 7809, and you can see up here on the shroud, 7809D. Now what that tells you, they only used 4 digits, and every 10,000 they upped it with a letter designation. So I don't know if they started with none or if they started with A, but let's just say they started with A. So we got 10,000 A, 10,000 B, 10,000 C, 10,000 D. So by the time we get to D, we're at about 40,000 guns. So if we figure that that's the date, and this is the 7809th one of the run, it's high in the 10,000 area of the 4th run. Now these only went to R. No, R was the carbine. So Q, maybe Q, to get the 140,000. And the big bunch of these were produced late. So this first run was going to be around 1915, the first signing, the first request for this gun, around 1915. And they had some problems, and they actually went bankrupt, and somebody else picked them up, and that company produced the remainder, the bulk of the order. That would put it in the 1917 range. Something I just found out watching the video last night was this ring was not standard in the order. Let me back out a little bit. We'll zoom it in. Let's back out. So this ring is a stacking ring, and it was added around 1920. So this gun being so late in the war, World War I, it does have the Belgian mark on it. So the Belgian inspector did approve this gun. And that's that mark right there that you see. It's a Belgian acceptance mark. So I know that it was not after the war that it was produced, but these were finished just before the war ended. Literally months before the war ended. So it's late production for the war. It just makes it really neat for me. It's chambered in 7.65 Argentine Mauser. Belgian Mauser. It's a cartridge that's similar to R308. It's 53 millimeter case instead of 51. And it's loaded to a little lower pressures. But ballistically, it's pretty close to the 308. This obviously is a weaker, older gun, and you can't shoot the higher powered stuff in it. But they also chambered this caliber up in the 1909 Argentine Mauser, which was a 98 Mauser variant, much stronger. And that one you could certainly load up to almost 3006 ballistics. That's a different rifle. Anyway, this is my contribution to my oldest gun, and I really like the Mauser, so this one here is pretty neat. It's dark, but the bore is pretty good, and it's complete. Everything is here. This is a shrouded barrel gun. Not common today, but that's how they made them then. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty old, cool stuff. I hope you liked it. That's my contribution. I'll put a couple of hashtags in there, and I'll put a couple links. I'll put a link to the first video from Jeff starting this thing out. And there's been a number of guys making videos. I just watched Nib's video this morning or last night. And I'll put a link to Ian's video about this rifle. So if you want to look up about that. And like I said, C&S Arsenal also has a really long one that includes this along with all the other variants, because there was a bunch of makers of this exact rifle. This one just is cool to me because it was made right here in Connecticut. That's it. God bless everybody. CW out.